All right, Capricorn, what up? Okay, so, all right, my name's Ben. I'm gonna do your reading, and this is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. But like I always tell you guys, energy's fluid, doesn't have labels, doesn't have parameters. So if it fits for you, it fits for you, regardless of anything else. Thank you all for subscribing, liking, commenting. I greatly appreciate it. If you'd like personal, all the information's in the description box down below. And yeah, that's about it. So let's hop into your reading. All right, so your central focus is the Ten of Swords. Okay, so that's interesting. A lot of major arcana. Let's check out the past here. And see what happened with that. I still have a little residual sickness, so I'll try not to cough or anything. Yeah, so in the past, either you or your person walked away from the situation, or both of you. We're gonna find out. Sorry for the sun. It's weird. Like, it's like dark over here and light over here. There's nothing I can do about it. Alright. Okay, so let's pull some future energy and then we'll get started. So yeah, it looks like in the past, one of you or both, like I said, we'll wait till clarifiers, but walked away from this situation. A passionate new beginning couldn't really, it was there, like the passion was there, but it couldn't get off the ground. So we're gonna see why. Oh, look at that. On the bottom, we got you guys right here. We got Capricorn with the devil. Alright, so let's pull our clarifiers real quick. Hope you guys are well. I am finally not sick. I was sick for like a month. That was crazy. I already pre-shuffle, so I'm really not going to spend too much time shuffling here. Alright. This could be a twin flame for some people. Doesn't have to be. If I see the Emperor and the Empress, that's going to be further confirmation. There's the Devil again. That's you guys twice. Okay, so the reason I said twin flame is because we do have the Lovers and the Four of Wands, which is the 11-11 card. So, in the past... Wow, this sun is really bright. It's like right in my face. In the past, like I said, either you or your person, switch it if you need to, but we have the Eight of Cups clarified by the Six of Swords. Both of those cards are about walking away, and Judgment is actually about making a judgment call, you know, like a final decision. So whoever walked away, the other person that was like, you know, left feels like there's nothing they can do about it. And with the, you know, then we have the World with the Magician and the Fool. So when that cycle was closed out, it felt like all the manifestation and all of the progress, if you want to really call it progress, because not much really happened, but all the progress that the person that was left behind that felt like they were making was kind of like shattered, if that makes sense. Like, okay, so that was kind of jumbled. So the person that walked away, they made a final decision to walk away. They had enough, you know. There was a lot of heartbreak in the connection, a lot of sneaky behavior. Someone was very dishonest. Most likely the person that was left behind was acting very, even if they weren't necessarily doing anything shady, they were acting really shady. So it made the other person feel like they can't trust them. You know, they felt very emotionally rejected. There was a lot of heartbreak and pain because of it. They didn't feel appreciated. They didn't feel, because this Six of Wands is about appreciation and respect. And it's clarified by the Three of Swords, which is one of the biggest heartbreaks in the deck. And then the Four of Cups, which is emotional rejection. So that's pretty intense. That's why this person made that final decision to walk away. They didn't feel loved, they didn't feel appreciated, but unbeknownst to them, unknown to them, the person that was left behind, they were actually working on a lot behind the scenes. And internally, they had a lot of passion and a lot of feelings and a lot of manifestation going on for the connection, but they didn't make that known. Like, they really kept that to themselves. So what the other person saw, like from their perspective, was someone who was very sneaky, shady, dishonest, because they couldn't see what was actually going on behind the scenes. So that it looks more so like a miscommunication rather than like like a toxic situation. I mean, that becomes toxic, definitely. Especially with a lot of miscommunication, it's going to become toxic that way. But it looks like a big misunderstanding, and it looks like both people were kind of at fault. Where, the person that walked away, I feel like they kind of assumed a lot, and possibly because of like past relationships or past like hurt that they've been through, they kind of just assumed a lot in this situation and kind of like judged it in a sense, where they were like, oh well, this person, they're being shady, they're being dishonest, I can't like get an explanation out of them, I can't talk to them, whatever. So you kind of assumed that they were like doing things behind your back, but that wasn't necessarily the case. It looks like the person that was left behind was trying to like manifest, with the Magician here and the Fool, was trying to manifest a brand new beginning, not only for themselves but for the both of you. But like I said, they didn't show that on the outside. They didn't even make that known in any way. They probably did the opposite, where they made it seem like they didn't care, or they made it seem like they weren't interested because they were doing so much internally. So it looks like, all right, one person assumed, one person kind of judged the situation prematurely and just decided, you know what, I've had enough, I'm walking away. And the other person should have been more upfront about what they were doing and how they were feeling. So that's the past, all right? So if that fits for you, it looks like a big misunderstanding there. But unfortunately, it led to the central focus right here, which is the Ten of Swords. That's a very painful, like an extremely painful ending. Um, and it's clarified by the Six of Cups and the Seven of Wands. So the Six of Cups is really missing and reminiscing about the person from the past. Like, it's going to be from the perspective of the person that was left behind, okay? So the person that was left behind, they feel they're defensive, for one, because they feel misunderstood, and they feel kind of, well, obviously they feel rejected, but they could be pretty pissed off too. So keep that in mind. The person that was left behind, they're like ready to fight here. It could be that they're ready to fight for the connection. I do feel that too, but I also feel like they're kind of like pissed off at you because you just up and left the situation. Like, I feel like the both of you need to see it from the other perspective. Like, the person that walked away, they had their reasons, okay? They had their own understanding of what was going on. And the person that was left behind had their own understanding of what was going on. And I feel like the both of you need to see it from the other perspective. Because the one that walked away is kind of like, well, I've had enough of this situation. Clearly, it's not going anywhere. I'm moving on. And the person that was left behind is kind of pissed off, and they don't understand why they were left behind. But if you, regardless of which one you are, if you just kind of like see what I'm saying and see it from the other person's perspective, it'll not only help you understand it and help you heal as well, but it'll also help the dynamic between the both of you. Because if you, like, obviously you're watching this reading because there's probably a big part of you that wants to reconcile or work it out with this person. So you can't expect to work it out with somebody if you only see it from your point of view and your perspective. You have to look at both sides, as difficult as it might be, and it is difficult because you have to see your own faults and your own mistakes and your own decisions. You have to look at it as, well, yeah, I could have done that differently, or yeah, I could have been more understanding, or I could have been more direct myself. So that's where we currently are, okay? So like I said, this person currently is missing you pretty heavily. I feel like you're both missing each other pretty heavily, but you're both also very defensive toward each other, which is funny because there's so much love here. Like, there's such a strong connection, but the both of you are just stuck in like your understanding of what happened. You need to see it from the third perspective, okay, the outside point of view, like a bird's eye view of the whole situation. If this is your side and this is their side, you need to see it from up here where you can look at both, okay, because that's the only way you're truly going to understand the entirety of the situation. So, all right, so yeah, that's the basic situation here, okay? So the person that was left behind, they're currently trying to figure out. I feel like I keep, normally I do my readings where I'm like, okay, well, let's read it for one person here and then we'll kind of do it that way. But I'm feeling like this is both of your energy, which is really interesting because that doesn't normally happen in my readings. So it feels like the both of you are trying to figure out. I really think this is twin flame because for you guys to be mirroring each other this much, this is most likely a twin flame. So the both of you are trying to figure out how to move this forward. Okay, the chariot is movement forward, but it's also chaotic. Okay, both of these horses are trying to split in two different directions. So if this person doesn't control what's going on here, they're gonna split the carriage and it's gonna break and it's gonna be a bad day. Because he's in the middle of the fucking desert. So okay, so the both of you are trying to figure that out, but the both of you are also pretty overly emotional right now, and you're kind of in like a victim mentality. That's what I was saying, where you guys are kind of seeing it from only your perspective, which is a victim mentality. Because if you look at it as, well, they did this to me, I did everything fine, and if you're putting the blame on another person constantly, that's you acting like a victim. Okay, that's what this card is. It's a victim mentality, a self-sabotaging mentality. That doesn't help anybody, okay? Because you're not a victim. You played an active role in this connection. The both of you did, all right? This is interesting. This mostly feels like a giant misunderstanding that was, and because it wasn't resolved, was like blown way out of proportion. So that both of you are kind of seeing it as way worse than it actually is. I feel like the both of you are overthinkers, and because that Five of Swords is really overthinking, really being caught up in your head, and having like a negative mentality, and that is in the mental space too. Because in the heart space, we have the High Priestess with the Four Wands. Like I said, that's the 1111 card. And then the Page of Cups. So the both of you do want to reconcile. You want to apologize. Okay, you want to extend that little cup of love as like an olive branch. But I feel like neither of you are doing it. Because as beautiful as this card is, it's also stubborn energy. Okay, the both of you want to follow your heart and your intuition here. And I feel like you are. But there's that stubbornness as well. Especially if you're twin flames. If you're stubborn, your twin's gonna be just as stubborn. You know what I mean? Interesting. Okay, so down here we have the Page of Swords. So the both of you are watching each other. You're keeping an eye on what the other person's doing. I don't feel like it's in like a major way. It could be like if you guys live close by, or if you have mutual friends or social media or something like that, you could be using that. Um, but it's because there's this Knight of Pentacles and the Lovers. It's because you guys can't shake the connection that you have. Okay, I feel like there could have been like, it's gonna depend on your situation, but there could have been like a lot of time that's passed, like months, years, whatever, since you've seen each other or talked to each other. But regardless of how long it's been, the connection has never died. Like, you can't get away from it because you're not meant to. It's a soul connection. It's never going to go anywhere. Time and space is an illusion. The only thing that's real is soul and energy, okay? And you can't break an energetical bond. So I feel like the both of you may have already known that, but I feel like now you're both really like realizing that. Because not only is the Page of Swords like a spying card or something like that, but it's also gaining a new perspective, gaining information, and clearing away all of this fog and all of those illusions. I feel like you guys were stuck in like a fog when you were going through this past here, all that miscommunication, and it led to both of you feeling this heartbreak, okay? Because both of you felt misunderstood, both of you felt, whatever it was, like whatever you were projecting onto the other person. It's just sad because you guys have such a beautiful connection here, and I am seeing a positive direction here in the future, but we'll get there in a minute. So anyway, so like I was saying, you guys can't shake this connection, and the both of you really want to work towards something stable together, but the pace in which it's going right now is extremely slow because the both of you are kind of, like I said, you're definitely advancing. Okay, the both of you are starting to see it from both perspectives, which is great. But it is very slow and steady movement. Okay, it's not going very quickly. And then again, here we have judgment. All right, we had judgment in the past as well. So with this judgment, we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. So again, now this person's trying to make a decision about what to do. They're kind of just waiting around. um, they could be waiting for you, but I feel like it's more so they're contemplating, like they're juggling back and forth about what to do with this situation. I feel like you are too, but the person that walked away, I feel like they're more so trying to, like, I don't want to say like live their life, but I feel like they're more so trying to like focus on themselves and focus on the other things in their life, whereas the person that was left behind, they're more so focused on this situation than the other person. Um, See, I don't want to say that either because you're both equally focused on it, but one person is more so like dwelling in it, and one person's more so just trying to improve themselves in other areas of their life. Okay, so whatever one you are, just apply that how it fits, all right? So that's the present energy. And I am going to pull some oracle too. This will probably be a bit longer reading, but there's a lot of like, there was so much miscommunication between the both of you that I want to make sure it's at least a little bit clarified by the end of this reading. So, all right. So in the future, this is the second time you've come out in your own reading. I don't mention signs, but that's, if you are a Capricorn, that's further confirmation that this reading is for you, or you could be dealing with one if you're a cross watcher or somebody else. So, but that's the only sign I'm going to mention because the signs don't matter. Everyone has everything. So in the future, I love to see this card in the future. This is the Eight of Pentacles. This is working really, really hard on what you're laser focused on. Okay, this is wanting to work on the connection. The both of you are feeling this. The only thing you have to release is that negative mentality that's keeping you, trapped in like this juggling back and forth. You need to just allow your heart to guide you instead with that Queen of Cups. But I feel like the both of you are going to be doing that in the future, which is great because that Eight of Pentacles is working toward whatever it is that you're working toward. In this case, it's the two of you, speaking again or reconciling. And then here we have the Page of Cups, okay? This is the apology. Didn't we have it again? Yeah, we had it over here. So currently in your heart space, you're thinking about an apology, okay? The both of you want to apologize and reconcile and extend that olive branch. So in the future, it's actually going to happen. Which one of you is it? I'm not sure. It's going to depend on your situation. You know what I mean? But the both of you want to do that, and someone will be reaching out in the future, okay? Because the both of you have been healing from this situation. You've kind of fixed yourself emotionally, and you've gotten yourself to a place where you feel comfortable enough to reach out to this person, and you won't overreact. You won't, it won't be a repeat of the past, basically. So in the future, that's really, really good. And then here we have the Six of Pentacles with the Three of Cups and the Ace of Swords. So this is beautiful energy as well. This is forgiveness. If you can see, he's literally begging there for forgiveness. I'm not saying this person's going to beg for your forgiveness, but I feel like there's going to be a very honest, truthful conversation happening between the both of you, and it's going to lead to forgiveness on both ends. And I feel like you could be doing this in like a public setting, especially with this Three of Cups here. You could be doing it in like, you could meet somewhere like for dinner or coffee or something like that, somewhere that's a lot less pressure, you know what I mean? Whereas if you were to kind of like go to this person's house or they come to your house, it may feel a little like awkward or a little uneasy because that's like a one-on-one. But if you kind of like go out for coffee or you go out for like somewhere in a public setting, it kind of takes that pressure off because the two of you are not only the only people around in that situation. So it kind of feels like it's, what's the best way I can put it? Yeah, it's like a less pressure environment is probably the best way I can put that. That would be my advice. Like, if you do want to meet with this person, keep it simple at first, okay? Because there's a lot that needs to be cleared. Like, you guys have to have a serious conversation, but sometimes it's easier to do that in, like, a not so serious environment. You know what I mean? Like, just like go out for coffee. Like, I don't know where you guys live, but up here we have like Dunkin', or we have Honeydew in New England. So, or I don't know. I think there's like, well, wherever, like McDonald's. I don't know, somewhere like, somewhere that's more public and more like chill. You know what I mean? That would be my advice. It makes those types of conversations easier. And then afterwards, especially with this Three of Cups, if it goes very well and you guys want to like keep hanging out after that, I would say it looks like you're going to go out and celebrate. So that's good as well. And then we end here with the Seven of Pentacles. Didn't we have that somewhere else? Yeah, we had it over here. So currently you guys are, like I said, contemplating and trying to decide what to do, what decision to make. So it looks like in the future, you're going to be making that decision, okay? Oh, excuse me. And then we have Justice with the Nine of Swords. So the overthinking and you guys could not be sleeping well. It could be a lot of sleepless nights. The overthinking and everything that's going on right now is going to be, it's going to end, okay? It's going to be replaced by Justice here, which is a beautiful energy. It's bringing justice to a situation, which is very similar to Judgment, but it's just that, like, you're bringing, for example, you have the sword here, you're bringing clarity, you have the scale here for balance. It's just it's a lot more peaceful energy than you guys have been in. So let me pull some Oracle. I want to see what we get. I'm going to use an emotional deck in a minute, too. Yeah, we have recognition and reward, okay? So I'm getting two energies with this. So in the past, you guys didn't feel recognized, you know what I mean? You didn't feel understood. But now I'm seeing it as going into the future, you guys are going to have that understanding. And yeah, it will literally be recognition and reward as well, like in other areas of your life, especially if you're twin flames, because when you come together with your twin flame, you elevate in every single area of your life, not just the relationship. So that's further confirmation if you are twin flames, but this is just saying that you guys are it's gonna improve. Like, you guys are gonna understand each other, you're gonna have that conversation. Really beautiful energy. I want to see what else we get. Ooh, okay, so this is interesting. I was feeling this too. You see how much yellow we have in this reading and how much blue we have in this reading? That is throat chakra and solar plexus chakra, which we have right here. Solar plexus chakra deals with your self-worth and feeling understood. So that is literally as accurate as we can get right here. Your self-worth, a lot of times, because that's what solar plexus deals with, is confidence and self-worth. A lot of times people place their self-worth in the hands of another person, and I feel like that's what the both of you did in the past, and that's why the both of you were so heartbroken when this ending occurred, because you felt like the person didn't care about you, you felt worthless. But I feel like that's what the both of you are learning, where two things: you don't need to, you should never place your self-worth in the hands of another person, and secondly, just because you feel misunderstood and you feel like the person doesn't understand you doesn't mean that you're worthless. It just means that you need to have better communication. Okay, so I feel like that's what the both of you are realizing here. Really accurate. That's like the most accurate chakra card we could get right now, and throat chakra too, because it deals with communication. So let's see what else we get. Wow, look at that. We have Destiny. This is the Wheel of Fortune. And this is great, okay? Again, further confirmation. Yeah, okay. Further confirmation that this is at least a very strong soul connection, but most likely twin flame. So we have two, which is spiritual union here. So like I said, destiny and the universe, whatever you want to call it, is really involved in this situation, okay? And then this spiritual union is actually... Did we have the Two of Cups? No, but this is the Two of Cups in the tarot, so this is the soul connection between the both of you. You guys are equals, okay? And you see how these two people are coming together and they're touching foreheads? That means they're touching their third eyes together, okay? So when you do that with another person, you do feel activated like that because you're understanding each other on an intuitive and energetic level, not just like a physically communicative level, you know what I mean? I'll pull like maybe one more of these, and then I want to use another deck before we end here. Jesus, what was I saying? What was I saying? We'd need solar plexus and we'd need throat chakra. And look what came out. We have throat chakra. So exactly that, okay? The both of you need to communicate authentically and honestly, okay? No, don't hold back. Don't be afraid to be emotional. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because that's what leads to miscommunication, okay? Just lay it all out on the table. Be honest. And I'm not just saying that to you. I'm saying that to both of you. Both people that are involved in this situation need to do that for there to be true understanding in this situation, okay? And then on the bottom we have hope. Okay, so there is hope for this situation. Even though currently you guys may kind of be doubting that, especially with that Five of Swords. That's that negative mentality, like I said. So let me pull a couple of these, and then I just noticed they want me to pull a couple from my other deck too. So I'm just going to quickly pull. That's adorable. I'll say what they are in a second. I'm running out of time here because my camera shuts off at a half hour. Okay. Let me pull a couple more. And then I'll tell you what they are. Ow. Okay. So, yeah, look at that. We have abundance, okay? This doesn't just mean physical abundance. This means abundance in every area of your life. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally. It's really going to start to take off for the both of you. And then we have listening, okay? That's literally throat chakra here. Not only do you need to speak and communicate, but you need to listen to the other person, okay? Like, get out of your head, get out of your perspective, and really listen to their side of things and their perspective. Even if it's like, you know, a little bit triggering, or you guys could have, like, it could get a little bit heated in that conversation, just remember to ground yourself and be like, well, if I don't listen to this person's perspective, how can I expect them to listen to mine? You know what I mean? You really need to listen to each other and communicate. And then look at that. We have truth. You see all this blue? That's all throat chakra. And this is throat chakra right here because this is a chakra deck. This is throat chakra. Truth. Okay, you guys need to tell your authentic truth. Yeah, and then we have peace. That's the only way you're going to gain peace in this situation. And then for these cards here, we had balance, gratitude, grief, and quest. Okay, quest is very similar to... where is it? The Lovers right here. I know that doesn't look similar, but the Lovers are actually on a quest, okay? This is the Twin Flame journey. So this is the Twin Flame quest. And just remember to practice gratitude, okay? And try to get out of this grief mentality of what's happened between the both of you in the past. And maintain this balance here, okay? Not only within yourself, but in the connection. We have a lot of references to these scales here of balance, all right? And you guys could be very different as well, especially if you're twin flames, because you have water here and you have fire. So I feel like the both of you could externally be very different. Like you could come from very different backgrounds, or you could see things very differently. But on the inside, you guys are the same, okay? And that's what I think you're going to realize when you communicate with each other. You're going to realize that yes, we may be very different on the outside, we may come from very different worlds or very different lives, but on the inside we feel the same about each other. We feel the same about this connection. We feel the same about how we view things, and I don't mean like small things like, oh, I like dogs, I like cats. I don't mean like that. I mean like on a very virtuous, like moral level. You guys really see things from the same perspective, which is beautiful. So, wow, really, really like deep reading, Capricorn. That was really cool. Yeah, okay, so just remember, don't just see it from your perspective, see it from both, and that's speaking to both of you. And also remain hopeful, okay? Remain hopeful in this situation, because if you allow that Five of Swords energy to take hold of you for much longer, you won't ever resolve this situation. You need to have a positive outlook, a positive, what's the word I want? Yeah, I guess outlook works. You need to think positive, okay? And it looks like the two of you are going to be having a very serious conversation, which is great. Remember to listen to each other and communicate truthfully and authentically. So that's my advice. Thank you very much and have a great day.